Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Shamans Cave. This is Sandra Ingerman.
And I'm Renee Baribeau. How are you all today? And I'm hot with the topic. So Sandra said I could jump in because last week our ad account got shut down by Facebook for the very reason that I think Sandra titled our last episode, Laughter is Good Medicine. And the word medicine is what I believe flagged the shutdown. And it got me really thinking this week about how we're getting our information, where we're getting our information, and that on the other hand, that Facebook really isn't a public platform; it's a privately owned company, and they get to say what they want to share and what they don't want to share. I'm not here to talk about Facebook. I adore Facebook because it's built this audience for sure. But the topic that's really up for me is how do we learn to discern our own truth? How do we know, when we take all the information from the far left to the alt right, how do we know what's true for us? And Sandra was excited to talk about this too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I actually just talked a little bit about this recently on my Last Shift Network course, in that I was saying that what I'm mostly doing with this time, I'm working a lot, I'm teaching a lot, and but if I have a free moment, I do not go on a podcast. I do not listen to the news. I do not put anything on. I sit in silence and I pray. I do my ceremonial work and my spiritual practices. What's happening for me, I don't go out much, period. So isolation hasn't been a big issue for me. But I guess because I'm on the wave of the public right now in isolation, what I can say has definitely happened to me because I shut down. I only watch enough, I only read enough news. I don't watch the news at all, just to know what I need to be teaching, just to be aware of what's happening for people. And so what's happening for me is number one, I am so telepathic right now. It's even amazing me, and I've been in this work for 40 years, and I've always seen myself as telepathic. I've always been telepathic, but that has increased to levels that are really blowing my mind. And the other thing that's happening is I can hear myself, which is what Renee is talking about. I can hear myself. So I can go inside myself and I can say, what is my truth and what doesn't feel right to me that I don't want to embrace.
Absolutely. And Facebook, once I reassured them that laughter from the best medicine came from the Bible, which probably means it came from the indigenous tribes before that. They reinstated our account. So this is really not about Facebook. This is about yesterday. I made a new textable for my business development team, and through the conversation, it turned out that a lot of people aren't comfortable going out, and it took me by a surprise, like that. First of all, that somebody wouldn't say it, and secondly, that people are so glued to what they're getting from their cell phones and stuff in terms of what is the information that I believe, that I just was on a rant. I mean, and not at the person, because what it created for me to do was I got together with two other clinical people, and we're actually going to do a webinar on how to overcome the trauma of reentry into society. And trust me, it's like I had people. I'm taking somebody for a ride today in my car, so I just went out and wiped the whole thing down with some Simply Green and stuff like that, and I'm being respectful, but I'm not getting caught up in this idea that that there is only one set of news or two sets of news. Like there's this polar opposite of news. We're allowed to listen to this news, and anything that has a varying degree of opinion. I mean, last week I was called a Trump supporter because I had an opinion about going out in public. And, I don't really care who you vote for, truthfully, but the idea that we are so connected to what we're reading, what people are sending us, that when we've just gotten reestablished with nature, like I can't tell you how many people I know who've told me that they've noticed trees in their yard that they never saw before, or how the mountain looked when they were painting their back fence, or the fact that I've been sitting in my chair, my chaise, looking at the mountains more than ever. Wouldn't that be some kind of an indication that this is where we should be getting our news?
Yeah, I mean, nature is definitely talking to us. I am a person, Renee and I are in a couple of different places, and it's really good because, again, we're speaking our own truth and what's true for us, and not being afraid to say that to each other or afraid to say that to the group. Everybody is entitled to what feels right to them, and I do care who you vote for. And
Well, that was a little bit of an over, me. That was a little bit of an over.
I had to say something about that. I'm sorry. Sorry. And I am staying indoors more because of certain health issues I have. And I still feel like I have some to contribute to help people through this. I've been through a very dark time in my life for many years now, and I understand it, and I have tools to help people walk through it. And so I'm protecting myself right now because I don't know. And so I'm in a place of watching because now that things are opening up, we're going to know soon what the next step of the process is. Right now, it's just a little bit too early to be able to make those kinds of statements. So I'm just waiting a bit. And to be really honest with you, most of what I'm doing with my time, besides praying, and I do believe that the COVID has a very big message for us, and something had to come in to wake us up. Something had to come in to wake us up and to get us to listen to ourselves. And people are, they are starting to wake up. And so I'm also looking at the messages around death, and I'm reflecting a lot on my own death. And what are issues that I would like to address for myself in case I do get sick and I do leave? What do I want to address right now? What do I want to finish? So there's really a lot that you can do besides, and death brings up a lot of paranoia for people too, but if you reflect on it a lot and you do your spiritual work around it, it's just another dimension of reality. But, there's packing up the reality you have now if you have time to enter into another phase of your evolution. And all of that, everything, whether it's reflection or what Renee is talking about, of following your own voice, of if you feel safe or if you don't feel safe, that has to do with being quiet and being out in nature.
It's interesting, the topic of death. So my older sister lives in an institution. It's one of the places they say that if you continue to be an addict, you end up. In fact, I know two people in institutions, and both got COVID. And for my sister, and she would be okay with me talking about this because have this, we've developed this great relationship over the last year and a half. And, you know, because she's not out on the street using, she's, you know, pretty much contained in terms of, you know, what she has access to. But, you know, she they took her to the hospital one day with the COVID, and she was only there for the day. But I told her, you know, if this was a dress rehearsal and you're ready to leave, we didn't do very good. So we actually had an honest conversation about what work she might still need to do and how, you know, I could be helpful to her in this time if she was going to really be ready to go. Because we saw all the components that weren't aligned for her to be freed. Like any of the guilt, any of the shame, any of the I wasn't a good enough mother, all of those things that surfaced up, and you know, and the other parts that weren't ready to allow that to happen as well. And not that it was her time, but I really thought it was a dress rehearsal, and we learned a lot from the experience. I just have to say, I don't care who you vote for, like at my dinner table. Like, I got into a big conversation with a Georgetown family aristocracy Republican who was upset with another Republican for voting policy or platform over policy. So, I mean, I just have a wide variety of friends, and I learn a lot from all of these people that I consider very smart on many different levels. But I care about policy over politics, and that goes even to say with how we're handling the news, and you know, what we're allowed to hear, what we're not allowed to hear, you know, what's being censored, what is the agenda that we're being able to talk about. And if this is an agenda, then as shamans, as shaman practitioners, in my mind, we need to be able to listen to these telepathic messages. Remember last year, Sandra, I had the science fiction to write? Mm-hmm. What I realized last week, it wasn't for 40 years out. It was for now. Remember I told you people are going to be staying at home? It's like, I just didn't know that I was seeing next year. Not that I was ready to write this whole 40 years in the future kind of thing. Now I'll have to dig in a little deeper if I go back to that. But, you know, I mean, just the other day I got a message, oh, somebody's going to want to rent the house up in Whidbey. Sure enough, the next day, I heard, oh, there's somebody who wants to rent the house in Whidbey for 2 months. And so it's just like, I'm not even like, the messages are coming in so quickly. It's just like there's, you know, radio playing in the background. Is that what you're feeling, or?
Yeah, it's like every morning I wake up, I know exactly who emailed me. I open up, they're all there. Or call me. I just make a statement, and then somebody calls me with the same statement, and that always happens to me. That's just been a life path, and it's happened to all of us, where we knew who was on the phone when it rang. We tapped in psychically, and we got that information. But where it was more on occasion, I think now it's happening on such a regular basis, and I think when, you know, I've been confused around my own emotions about certain things. And while you were talking, I got one of the things that's triggering me right now about all of this, the going out, the not going out, the listening to your own voice, you know, everything that's coming up. And I really understand. I really understand that we have to move on at some point. And I understand the whole concept of herd immunity. Mentally, I understand that. But how it's being talked about is with such no compassion, no kindness. Mm-mm. It's generations of people saying, yeah, just die already so that we can get on with our lives. I mean, basically, that's what we're hearing.
Yeah, that is true. That was one of the things.
And basically, we're hearing it on the news. People are going to have to die. People are going to have to die, and that's just how it is. But where's the compassion? Where's the kindness? And so I think that for me, that's one of the things that stops me from being able to go in and listen to my own voice because I feel like the collective is not only negative and feeding a tremendous amount of negativity, but we're also losing the sense of compassion and kindness.
Absolutely. And that was one of my things is like I thought, well, after we've been shut down, for a month or two, we're going to come out and be a lot kinder to people. Instead, it's like now we're going to fight about whether you should have a mask on, whether a business should be open, whether a business should be closed. And one of the things that I expressed to this worker a coworker was that I said, we're going to have to work on what you will feel comfortable doing and how you're going to move forward from this place of fear and trauma. And then again, I decided to do a podcast with a couple of clinicians about it. But this whole idea of, that I want to be like, this is my summer accoutrement. My friends are making masks. And, and so I want to be respectful of other people and their opinions about all of this while I live what's in my true heart for myself. And I think that everywhere we're going to go, we're going to be thinking about like, well, how close am I? How far am I being respectful? And how that's going to look for us. And I don't know that there's a right answer because we've never gone through this before in our lifetimes, unless you're, I think, probably 110 or something like. I don't know what the exact number is, but so how do we want to be better neighbors? How do we want to be better citizens of the world? And know that other people are in tremendous amounts of fear. How do we hold compassion for them as well?
Yeah, and also how do we hold compassion for all the people who have no way to feed their families right now? Um, you know, there's a lot that we can close our minds to. There's a balance, I think. There's a balance of being educated about what other people are going through, so that you also understand what kind of ceremonial work needs to be done for the planet, what's happening without intruding, with letting people have to deal with their own destiny. We all have to deal with our own destiny and suffering. Sometimes it's part of our destiny. And so there's a balance of being aware of what's happening, like how many indigenous people are dying right now, or just being wiped out by this virus. This is important information for us to know. But at the same time, how do we not get so interwoven so that we're not staying in our own light? Because the true work and what I'm teaching right now in my Shift Network course, and we're having unbelievable success. Everybody just feels like this is a safe haven, that they came to a safe haven to really work on themselves. We're doing deep work. Everybody's calling the course unbelievably intense. We're doing deep work, but we're holding each other in an amazing amount of love. And if you really stay in the collective ever circle, you don't know what's happening in the outer world. You're in a different dimension of reality. And we're naturally splitting into different dimensions of reality. That's obvious. That actually should need no explanation at this point. And so it's that balance of, I live in this safe haven because I'm with my group on Facebook 3 to 4 hours a day and teaching. And I also educate myself of where I need to be holding compassion right now. Peru has come out and said that they will not help any indigenous people. Doctors Without Borders is coming in to help the Navajo here. You know, there's a lot of different stuff going on. Where do we need to be compassionate, and where do we need to be kind? And as Renee brought up, the, the point of our topic, although we're talking around it, which I think is important too, is listening to yourself. Because on the news this morning, what they're doing in Colorado now, I don't know if you heard what they're doing in Colorado, they're now they're now counting the underlying conditions that are killing people instead of the COVID, so that they can say a heart attack killed this person because they had heart issues, not the COVID. So this way they can show that the deaths from the COVID are decreasing. So what do you do with that?
Well, we could get into a debate about this.
But no, what I'm saying is, who do you listen to?
Right, because
Well,
the other side says that they gave doctors money to say that it was COVID-related deaths instead of the heart condition or the cancer, and so there was more money for the people who would say that they were COVID-related deaths. So, I mean, this would be a point of like a compassionate flare up.
yeah, well, yeah, that would definitely take a journey of move out of ego, which not many can do, and to actually get true spiritual.
Oh, let's do that. Let's have a journey about that. I mean, I encourage people to journey to the truth for themselves, really.
Yeah. So I taught an exercise that I'd like to repeat, because
Okay.
a journey around this in 3 minutes is a little.
Yeah, that's perfect. That would be great because that would blow up. I mean, you know, when I started this conversation, it was because I'm like adamant about censorship, and adamant about censorship would cause me to exercise my Second Amendment rights, because otherwise then we're going to lose those too. And so I think this is really a good time for a journey.
Yeah, well, this isn't going to be a journey.
Oh,
This is an exercise
okay.
that I taught in another one of our. This is a repeat. So some of you are getting this repeat. And the reason I don't want to do a journey is shamanism is really sacred. And the question of what's happening right now, if you want a journey about that, I think that's a great idea. But I want you to prepare for a half an hour. I want you to get your ego out of the way. I want you to fast for 24 hours. I want you to do your work before you do the journey to actually be able to listen to the spiritual information. Because I don't believe that if we did a 3 minute journey, that anybody would move out of ego. And then we get all this misinformation, and it's posted on Facebook because it's ego talking instead of spirit. You got to prepare for these kinds of big journeys. So let's do something really simple.
Before we do, I just want to say something just so people know. This week I took a day off, and I actually did a ceremony all day long, and you know, fasted like Sandra's saying. So I a lot of times it's like, you know, like I look like I'm the flippant one here with, you know, just running through life, and that's just not necessarily the case. So I want people to know that. And once you do that, I would like to blow in to go to the wind of compassion. Because yeah, no, I knew that I needed a day of fasting, and you know, did 7 processes and 7 prayers and stuff like that, and really took a break from, you know, social media and all, to really come to where I felt balanced again. So I highly recommend what Sandra just said in terms of that. And know that I'm a serious student too of these ways. Just, I might seem really lighthearted, but you know, I'm very principled and have my you know, my experiences.
Yeah,
I just try to keep us interesting.
yeah, and you do. And you say incredibly profound things. And, and this show is to also make us think and
Right.
to reflect, and to go deeper. So, you know, it's really important to do that. So we're talking about how do you get quiet and listen to your inner truth, and how do you know if the news that you're hearing is fake news or real news? And so I taught this exercise in another show. This exercise I gave in my book Soul Retrieval, which came out in 1990. And so I have been doing this exercise every day. This is how I make my decisions. So since 1990, I
30
have,
years. Wow.
yeah, this is how I make my decisions. So this exercise was not my original exercise. It was taught by, I was in a class going for my master's in counseling psychology, and there was a woman who studied disc therapy, and she shared this exercise with us, and it was incredible for me. So it's very simple. So here you are. Renee started this talk. Do you believe the CDC? What is your own telling you? Is the CDC saying something that's true to you or false to you? We can only deal with us. We can't deal with is it false to everybody.
I
Um,
don't know what they're saying. So,
I don't know either.
okay, good. All right. I want to be clear on this. We don't know what they're saying. So,
But so let's say they're saying something and they're telling you what to do. And you're hearing all the different sides. You're on Facebook and you're hearing this, and you're watching the news and you're hearing this. And I would love to do a show on emotional exhaustion because that is what's happening. That is really what we're dealing with is emotional exhaustion right now. So you're hearing something and you don't know, can I go out? Can I not go out? Can I do this? Can I not do this? What's the key for you? So let's go through the exercise together. So let's say uh, the CDC or somebody, some government organization is saying that it's time for you to go out and start your life again, and you're feeling like you want to stay home, or vice versa. You're feeling like you want to go out, but you're being told to stay home. So I'm sure this is a question on people's minds right now. So let's stick with this question. Should I stay in or should I go out and re-enter life? So um, what we start with is um, I'm going to make this statement. I am going to start going out and fully re-enter into life as is legal in my state. This is what my inner voice is saying to me. So close your eyes, and the first thing that I want you to do, I should have started differently, sorry, but it'll loop in. The first thing I want you to do is go inside and think about something that you absolutely love, the simplest thing, the color red, the color blue, chocolate. Don't make it any more complicated than that. Your cat, your dog, simple. And close your eyes and take a few deep breaths and feel what it feels like when you're telling yourself the truth. I love this color. I love this food. I love my pet. You're going to feel something in somewhere in your body. Or for me, I get a green light. I actually see a traffic light. This is how I've been working for 40 years. And when I ask, is this true? I see a green. So you want to get, for a truth, you want to get this beautiful feeling flooding through your body, or a word that comes to you, or a picture that comes to you, like I get, because we work with different senses. So close your eyes and feel that. feel something that you really love and feel how it feels in your body. Because your body knows the truth. Your ego doesn't. Your body knows what it needs to do for its own health and well-being. It's an intelligent organization. How are you feeling right now in telling yourself what you love? How does it feel? And now we're just going to distract ourselves for a minute. And Renee, what's the temperature in where you are right now?
Oh, it's heating up today, so we're going to drive up the mountain and get about 10 degrees cooler, but I think it feels like it's already 100. But
Okay.
I don't know if that's true.
Okay, so let's continue to exercise. You want to distract yourself in between those two parts.
It's hot.
Yeah. So, so close your eyes again, and now I want you to tell yourself a lie. I hate the color blue. I hate the color red. Whatever was your favorite thing. I hate my cat. um, tell yourself an absolute lie and go in and feel how that feels in your body. You should feel something, you should hear something, you should see an image, something. Something is going to touch your body. Your body has an intelligence. It's talking to you right now. You told it a lie. What does that feel like? So, what you want to do in your own time, because I think that we gave the exercise, and I think we can start finishing it now, or we can finish it in your own time. The next part would be to go in and to say, I feel safe going out on the streets right now. And then you would close your eyes and you watch for the feeling or the word or the image that you got when you told the truth. And you go with the choice of what you get is the truth for your body, instead of the truth of what you're hearing outside of yourself. And then, even if things don't work out, you take responsibility because your being gave you this information for the next step of your destiny and learning, wherever that brings you to, you know. So um, you have to be careful about journeying to the spirits about these things. And the reason I'm saying that is the spirits don't have bodies and they see everything as a growing experience and they see everything as evolution. So they don't always judge. So if you ask the spirit, should I go out? They might see that a good learning experience for you is is doing that. So I just want to put a word of caution that if you really do your preparation work, if you really know built a great relationship with your helping spirit and can have a really honest communication, you'll get information. But if you've been playing shamanism, shamanic journeying on the surface, and you haven't been going deep, you're going to get answers that aren't deep. And so you have choices to make about direct revelation and finding your own voice. So, how much do you make space and time a priority so that you know how to get the answers you need? Because we all are going to need our own guiding tracks right now. I'm not trusting anybody.
Exactly. I absolutely agree. And if for those of you who are ready to move forward or ready to stay in a place, this Saturday I will be doing a Win Knot workshop for free at noon, and you can learn how to empower some knots in order to release a little more energy into your life as you're ready to move forward. And it's all about moving forward at your time with the help of the winds. And so I thought I would just end with us today with blowing in Dagoda, which is the Polish wind of compassion. And in that meditation retreat I did this week, they showed this movie about how in Ghana, after after they slaughtered all of those people, the people decided that the way back to wholeness was through forgiveness. Not so they all decided as a community to forgive the perpetrators. And so, right now maybe if we could use a little forgiveness around people who have different viewpoints or who are hearing different information. So I thought we would blow in the Polish wind of compassion and to find our own freedom and forgiveness. So if you want to close your eyes, we'll see how this goes for us.
It felt really good.
It did feel really good. Kind of a passionate wind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's actually a lot of amazing stories about whole cultures, like the people in Vietnam forgiving the soldiers coming over. There's so much we can learn from cultures who learn about the power of forgiveness. And that could be a good show for us to do.
I'm writing them down. So we have emotional exhaustion and forgiveness coming up. And we do have to get back at some point to our Earth, our element series. So we will. There's time.
Yeah.
All right. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day at home and enjoying our willingness to agree to disagree. I mean, we have to be in that place with each other.
Yeah, it comes down to what this whole show is about. You have to learn how to trust yourself and how to speak your own truth. And and for me, everything is about finding your own flow in life. And your own flow, if you follow your own flow in life, I promise you it will bring you to your destiny.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Sandra. I love our time together.
I love it coming together too.
Oh, everyone, just make sure you go over to shamanstv.com and subscribe and do all the things you want to do and share the show with other people because people really need what we're offering right now, and we hope that you think it's good enough to share with your friends and family too.
Yeah, and just really stay well and stay in your light. I still believe that being filled with divine light is the best immune formula that we have. I will not put that in the title for.
No, we got to watch our titles. This will say, I'm not sure what we're going to say, but we'll figure it out.
Well, have a beautiful day or evening, and thank you. This is a difficult time, but it's important to stay centered and let us help you through that.